Breaking news. No, it's really not breaking news. You know what, why do I look so red? It's so annoying. You know what I've decided about the worst part about living in Eastern North Carolina, or where I live? We don't have any good radio stations. You go up to Raleigh and you're like loaded up with good music. We don't. We got nothing. Anyway, I'm just losing 101.5. There's something about, I lived in Raleigh so long. You know, you listen to 101.5 and it's like, anyway, it's like, feels like home to me. That's my complaint for the day. Oh, there's Lori now. Lori has been asking a lot of questions about charter school teams playing other teams. Lori, I will say today I talked to my cousin, Thomas Pittard, and his son goes to a charter school, and they're in their own conference. So I guess what you're saying, what happens in our neck of the woods, Lori's saying, is they combine charter schools, but where we live, they must not. I know that morning message really messed me up. I totally forgot to hit the supporter button. I promise I did. And tonight, I'm not doing just a supporter video because I want more people to hear what I have to say. But I didn't want to like jip y'all out of anything. So this way, you know before anybody else. In Facebook, I have to do this thing. Hi, Ann. I have to do this thing where, well, I don't have to, but they asked me and I said I would because it's good. So if I have a supporter goal, so right now I have almost 400. So if I hit my goal, what do I give people? Do y'all have any ideas? I mean, I don't even really understand that. What does that mean? I mean, what would you want? Hey, Liz. Oh, we gotta stop and get gas. I'm in my husband's Prius. One, because my Suburban has an expired tax, and it needs an oil change, and it gobbles gas. There's no reason to drive to Raleigh and use all that gas up. So anyway, so today Lori is confused. I know, Lori, that's what I'm telling you. So he is in a charter school in Oxford, North Carolina, and you'll run for governor. Oh my God. Then I better make the goal like 10,000 because I ain't running for a while. If I learned one thing today, it's that I don't need to work in Raleigh. Golly, it's hard. Like all day I was like, oh God, what if somebody gets sick? A weekend at your house. Well, yes, I could do that. But I mean, that would be if I could pick from a certain group that I trusted to work at my house or to come to my house, work at my house. They could work at my house. Why is there no gas? It's like living in Uzbekistan. So I don't know. Nothing, Christy said, nothing. Yeah, so Lori, we need to talk about that. I think I come get my hair done next week. So we need to have an idea. You can give me wine and smokes. Oh, well, that's an idea. I could send a care package to somebody. That wouldn't be bad. We could draw names out of a hat. That's not a bad idea. If I hit like 10,000, which clearly that's not a realistic goal today, I was thinking I would send like pick 4 people and do plane tickets. Or maybe you could bring a friend or something, 2 people, and you could each bring a friend, plane tickets, and come for dinner. And like spend the weekend. Wouldn't that be fun? Ooh. Now, I had a real problem today. So I have a lot of problems. But one of my biggest problems is I lose debit cards. I mean, a lot. I'm worried about you talking and driving. Well, now I'm talking at the gas station. So there's no real fear. And although this person behind me thinks there is, I lose debit cards. I've just gotten 2 brand new ones, I don't know, a week ago, and they're gone. Now, please remove card. So the only thing I have left is this random like credit card that I try not to use. So I go to the state board meeting. It's very good. We're going to get to that. And then I lose jewelry. Reward card. No, I don't have a reward reward card. I don't want one. Then I park, right? So I pull up my credit card, and the lady says, "We don't take American Express." I was like, okay. Well, that's all I got because I lost my debit card. She goes, "Well, you can pay in cash." Okay, who has cash? Dinner at Chef and the Farmer. Oh, well, that's a good idea. Oh, shoot. Hold on, let me push these buttons. You should make tails swag. I know, I do want to do that, but when in the hell am I going to do it? Anyway, so she says, now y'all are all on the, come on. Oh, there's the gas. I will do that. I could send swag. So she says, "Do you have cash?" I said, "No, I don't have cash. I mean, like, I maybe had some change." I said, "Well, how much is it?" $14. I said, "Well, I don't know what to do. I don't have a check." Well, we don't take checks. She said, "Well, you can walk to the bank and get some cash out." I said, "I don't think you can get cash out with the darn credit card. Can you? Maybe you can." So, yes, my husband too, which is why I usually take his cash, but I just wasn't prepared today. I carry cash all the time. Of course you do, because you're that kind of organized person, Dinah. Now, oh, there's a PIN number with a credit card? Oh, I never got that. So she said, you cannot leave this parking lot until you've paid. I was like, what am I going to do? The only thing I could possibly think to do was that I'd have to walk 2 blocks back to DPI and beg people that, you know, probably don't particularly love me to give me some money. I mean, I'm too prideful to do that. So, $24 in a Prius is a lot of gas. So, eating Halloween candy. Oh, I got one of those at Baja Burrito. I stopped and got burritos for my husband and I for dinner. I stopped and got the children Chick-fil-A. Because whenever we leave town, all we do is go buy food. It's heaven forbid we not take advantage of eateries. Okay. Now, so I'm sitting there in this parking lot and I'm thinking, this is not good. Well, I notice across the street is this, hold on. Across the street is this church, Christ Church in Raleigh. And I know this church because my husband went there growing up. That was his church. And I think his parents are still like members, though they also belong in Edenton. And so I was like, well, I'll just have to go. Just got my students out the door. I'll just have to go in the church and ask for some money. I mean, thank goodness I look like decent. So you can't get in the church. They got it all locked up tight. So I have to wait for somebody to leave so I can like pretend that I'm official and sneak in there. And then I'm wandering around and I don't see anybody. Look under the seats. I don't see anybody. So finally I like hear somebody talking and I go in and there's this like cute young girl. She's just finished college in 2014. And I was like, hi. And she, you know, she kind of gave me that look like she's, oh, I know you. And I was like, I'm Adrienne Wood. She goes, oh, I know. I was like, well, I hate to, okay, Christy, I'm going to read your comment later when I'm not driving. I said, I hate to ask you this, but I need some money. She was like, what? I was like, well, I mean, this is why it's good to be honest and transparent. So maybe it wasn't a total shock to her that I would do something like this. Hi, Cody. So I said, I need $14. She said, we can go to my car, get my debit card, go to the bank. I was like, oh God, that sounds awful. Yes, Cody, I'm driving back home. I'll be home in about, I don't know, 45 minutes. And so she says, I said, could we just maybe look around a little bit? So we go, of all places, to the person who's in charge of finances, who has no idea who I am. And she introduced me, she's like, this is a blogger. And I'm sure this lady is like, oh my God. I said, Sarah, yes, it was Sarah. Yes, it was cute Sarah. Thank you, Lily. And she needs some money. And I was like, oh God, my husband, you know, belonged here. And I promise you, I'll mail, even though I don't go to the post office, I'll mail the money. So she scrounges up $13.50 from her pocketbook. And then I found 50 cents in the car. So that lady let me out of there. And when I saw her, I said, well, I'll tell you what, it's good to have a church next door. I just went over there and said, I need $14, and they just handed it over. She said, really? I said, no, that's not it. But anyway, I thought that was funny. Now, not to give all the secrets away, but because I love y'all, I'll tell you the initial secret. So I get to the meeting this morning. Several people from my blog were there, which was very nice. Very nice. It was nice to see familiar folks. Oh, look, there's Donna Doherty, who ditched me today. And I'm just kidding, Donna. And I'm going to call you after this if I have a signal. And so I get there and I meet, who do I meet right away? Well, I introduced myself to some people. A superintendent from Craven County came up and talked to me, and I'm still not sure if she likes me or not. She was doing her eyes kind of like this, and I was like, gosh, she either hates me or was like trying to talk in code. I couldn't tell. I met, so Dave Machado, the head of charter schools, was not there, but I did meet the communications person for charter schools, and he was very nice. And I met the new, all these deputy superintendent mess. I met the new superintendent for the Innovative School District. Letizia is her name. Delightful. I met Eric Hall, who I've not been so kind to on social media, but I liked him a lot. And I told you, you know, I'm not always right, and I'm learning. So I'm learning. We're learning together. So anyway, and then Kevin Wilkinson walked me up. He's the one that called me the rival tribe. But he and I met for about an hour this afternoon and really had a good meeting. You know, at the end of the day, my goal is not, I think for them, it's like, what the hell is she trying to get out of this? Like, is she trying to make money? We know I ain't making that much money. Is she running for politics? No, I mean, maybe someday, but not in the next decade. So you're safe from that. But after he was like, you know, I can tell you just care. I was like, exactly. I really, really do care. And anyway, it was really a good talk. He took a selfie and sent it to his wife, who probably thinks I'm awful, and corrected me on some things that I was wrong about, which is fine. And then we just had a really good talk. So my hope is that seeing what's happening through a different lens is really helpful. And I was, you know, real honest with Kevin too. I want to support our superintendent. I want to see education in North Carolina do better. But I'm also not willing to compromise what I think is important. And whether that is a charter school in Wilmington running afoul, Cody, I haven't seen your photos, or Kim Martin leading the Center for Safer Schools. I mean, I won't support that. I won't. Unless somebody knocks me over the head with a club and like shows me what she's doing so great. So anyway, but I will be supportive with other things, and Kevin's job is to do policy. And I tell you one thing, really in North Carolina that we need to see happen that would be awesome, and I have a wee bit of hope that maybe we can, is that so this Berger's Read to Achieve thing failed, and I know they all like Berger, he's a Republican, but what if North Carolina, and I said this to Kevin, teachers would love Mark Johnson if he would say Read to Achieve has failed, which we all know. Why don't we look at what the research says about how young children learn? Why don't we, Frank Porter Graham Child Development Institute, let's look at the literature and see how kids learn. What are they doing in Finland? Maybe we don't need to cram literacy down people's throats in kindergarten. Maybe we can go back to singing and a little more PE, and then our kids will do great. Desi, thank you. I said, if you do that, Mark Johnson will be the most popular superintendent that has ever hit North Carolina. I promise you. I know teachers. I really do. And I was very honest. I said, he needs to quit putting his face on all these damn posters. He was like, well, we're required by law to send out information about what we're doing. And I did think that was interesting. I didn't know that. And I said, well, you're not required by law to have photographs all over everything. It looks too political. And I'm no policy advisor, but I'm a parent, and I'm just telling, as a parent and an informed citizen, what I find annoying. And I would tell Mark Johnson that. And we're going to have a meeting. Joe, remember the one that said he wouldn't meet with me? He's been outvoted. Kevin and Mark and I are going to meet. So, Joe, nobody's talking about your recommendations. And I'll tell you the other thing that I discovered. So, Mark Johnson's website, they said, well, it costs $300. And I do agree that the DPI website is outdated and yucky. And they're spending like some assload of $250,000. So Kevin says to me, we decided, Mark, we wanted another website. It can't be .gov because you'd have to pay the IT people to build it, which would cost $50,000. So I appreciate this, that he wasn't like, oh, well, we'll just do it and spend $50. So Kevin volunteered his own personal time to build a really great website. Mark Johnson's website is really good. But they said, well, it only costs $300. Well, Kevin spent about 300 hours on it. It took him months. He worked on it at night. And so I said, well, you need to be more honest and say, well, actually, this website's worth, if you charge $100 an hour, if you were going to work, $30,000. Because then that makes me know that the Innovation School District's website at $24,000 is reasonably priced. So I said, I think transparency really goes a long way. Right? I think it does. Who else did I meet? Anybody else? One of my nice followers was in the back, and I never got to talk to her, but she was making all these faces at me. Oh, and so the Innovative School District, they were talking about that, and they did not, what did they do? They did not vote on it today. The board, I love the state board. I thought they were really sharp. Gosh, there are like 3 new members. It's a diverse group, young, old, race, experience. I was pretty impressed with it, truthfully. And they said they want another month for information. I will say, looking at the data of the 6 schools that were on the list, the data is bad. But I thought Letizia did a really nice job with their call of saying they were really listening to what the schools were doing, not just like, oh, well, we're going to do this, but this is what we're doing currently, and go into our school and check it out and look. And then the principals were able to choose teachers for focus groups, and they met with them. And that was good. If anything, so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that Goldsboro thing. And they also said they're looking at, so everything's in legislation. So they can't just do what's normal. They got to go to the General Assembly, Kevin, and get it written into law. I mean, what a pain in the ass. No wonder everything takes so long. Is having the Innovation School District, instead of just being taken over, there would be different tiers of help. And I think then maybe it wouldn't be so negative. I mean, really, it could be helpful, right? Do y'all think I've had a lobotomy? I know. Clearly don't trust me, because I'm changing. No, have you seen that movie Hannibal where that guy says that? But anyway, I really thought about, like, okay, what if my kids were in a crappy school? Really crappy. F's for 3 years in a row. No growth. Not even an F, but no growth. So if schools made growth, even if they were still an F and made growth, they weren't put on the list. I mean, the legislation is pretty rigorous of how you get put on the list. I mean, you just got to do terrible. And I thought, what if my kids were in the school, there's no charter school near me, and I'm complaining and saying to the principal or the superintendent, like, I want my school better. And they'd be like, well, this is finally a way that somebody might listen. You haven't had all the communication because they haven't communicated with you. Yes, Rebecca. Kevin and I talked about that. I said, I'm fairly easy to get along with if people will call me back. And I said, I I've called Mark Johnson for months, and he has never called me back. Now, granted, I'm sure I hurt his feelings with those videos and like get him down, which is not my intention. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I also think it's worth a phone call. But I get that he probably didn't trust me. I don't know if I would trust me either. So yes, it's important to be in contact, because at the end of the day, I don't want like some war. I want education to be better. And I'm not going to be superintendent. But if I could help push along thoughts of teachers in a way that wasn't from the NCAE or the whoever they are, all these people get political. They get donations. You know, I'm not doing that. So anyway, and make things better, then I think that'd be really good. Or I would be excited. That would be like my whole goal, right? Anyway. Okay, I'm getting off the phone because it's getting dark. And I'm about to lose a signal because I'm in Bertie County. I'll see y'all at 9, okay?